What kind of crowd is expected today? Does anybody know? Ben, is that what they're expecting?
Gary.
Batting at 8 then.
I got a full-time job for you, big fella. Guys that don't like to do that, guys.
It's your best hold-on. Frizzy. Okay, your best hold-on. Very good looking dog. What do you want to do today? Oh, you're good. Okay, you're going to teach him to do some tricks. That's pretty good fit. He can fit real well. Can you do anything else? Do you roll over or bad? Like that?
Hello, yes, I hear Carlos.
Come on, Frizzy. Big Blue, don't you know you can't teach that old dog new tricks?
It's homecoming, and they've lit up the Bulldogs.
Never played that pretty well.
Bulldog Stadium. All right.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, the second ever homecoming game for the Aggies. And today's opponent,
I'm gonna give you from picturesque. All right.
Fresno State starting offensive team includes the square number 13, Calvin Dean.
You want me to use Snow Lake?
Jackson. The center number 75, Billy Scott. Right back for Fresno State number 62, Melvin Johnson. And right back number 70.
The Cash Mountains, aren't they?
The fullback is number 22, Lorenzo Neal. And the coach of the Bulldogs is Jim Sweeney.
This is Bulldog football. Today from Romney Stadium in picturesque Logan, Utah. KMPH Fox 26 presents exciting NCAA college football as the Aggies of Utah State host the Fresno State Bulldogs. Today's game is being brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. Hello, everybody. I'm Randy Rosenblum, set to call the play-by-play action, Fresno State and Utah State. And yes, the weather will be a factor. It is, as I said, a picturesque day in Logan, Utah, but it is chilly. It's 22 degrees, but it's clear, no forecast of snow. It's been a great year for Fresno State. The Bulldogs are 7-0, 3-0 in the Big West. On the flip side, Utah State has struggled. Only 1-6 and 1-2 in the conference. But this is their homecoming day, and they think they have a chance. And we'll come back. We'll preview the Aggies when we return to Logan, Utah, right after this. Microphone working. Well, if it isn't, I'll have mine close enough for you. And welcome back to Logan, Utah. Randy Rosenblum joined by Dave Campbell. Now, Dave, Chuck Shelton, in his 6th year as head coach at Utah State, just resigned after the loss at Long Beach State. What kind of effect will that have on the Aggies today?
Well, I thought Jim Sweeney brought up a good point. He said it kind of tongue-in-cheek, but he said there's always a third of the club that doesn't like you too well. He says they're going to play hard because they want to show the coach he was right in resigning. Third of the club really likes the coach. They're going to play hard because they want to send him off on a high note at the end of this season. Jim said if those third that don't know play hard, he says, we're in trouble today.
That's an interesting comment by the coach. Is always quotable. What about these Aggies, though? Why are they 1-6? A lot of people were picking them to win the Big West Championship.
Really tough to figure. I mean, they have a guy named Roger Grant who 4 times last year, including a game against Fresno State, rushed for over 190 yards in a ball game. But this year, Grant has really been stymied. He has not run well. Only 484 yards in the entire season. They're not running the ball nearly as well as they did last year, but they got a great passing offense. Yeah,
the Aggies didn't score an offensive touchdown in the loss to Long Beach State last week. We'll come back with Kevin Swinney, talk about the quarterback matchup, and it's getting very interesting from those QB's eyes. We'll talk about that right after this.
One more.
Huh? I don't know.
Who are we doing first? Oh, it doesn't matter.
You don't have any grab. I'll talk about Lopez.
I'm going to go with Dilfer first.
Okay. Smile when you talk, Kevin. Ooh. Wait.
Remember, we're critiquing.
Don't put pressure on me early. Psych, I thought my son
Hey,
was
I'm
cool.
going to show you my list I made from everybody. The 2 telecasts ago.
What's that?
My little notes on the telecast.
Which one? New Mexico?
From New Mexico.
Mexico's, we're still working on.
It's your job is to be critiqued.
What was the home game we did?
New Mexico. The 94?
No.
Northern Illinois?
New Mexico State.
Oh, the one at Las Cruces? How'd we do? How was our critique?
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad.
Why don't you give us notes in between? Oh, so it was a good critique.
Always room for improvement.
Always.
30 seconds.
Throwing before you get down the field. Sure. How long is this?
Just 30 seconds on it.
Okay.
Today, referee Tony Barkley, umpire Joe Kozak, linesman Martin Perlman, field judge Mark Wagner, match judge Stetson Howard, line judge Leon Lancaster, side judge Bill Jordan.
And welcome back to Romney Stadium. Randy Rosenbaum now joined by Kevin Swinney. Kevin, obviously the unfortunate broken leg for Mark Barsotti. That's the bad news. The good news, freshman quarterback Trent Dilfer, great numbers against UNLV.
Trent Dilfer is an excellent athlete. He's a great quarterback. He's got an outstanding future at Fresno State.
Now, a guy who's put up some pretty good numbers here in Logan, Utah is a quarterback by the name of Ron Lopez. He can really throw the football.
Lopez is a big guy. He's 6'5", 215 pounds. We'll remember him last year in the tie football game that he engineered. Great game. This is going to be a wonderful football game. It's chilly.
It is. It's tough to talk. We want to get you back for the starting kickoff of this football game because it is very cold in the booth. We want to put the heater on. So for Kevin, I'm Randy. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
Test,
Bulldogs.
Campbell.
Bulldogs will get it first, I take it, huh? I'll just do it from, I'm going to do it from.
Where do you want it?
And welcome back to Logan, Utah. Randy Rosenbaum with Dave Campbell and Kevin Swinney. And again, the elements are going to be a factor, Dave. Got to handle the football.
Really, the Bulldogs have only turned over the ball 6 times in 7 games. That's the lowest rate in the NCAA. But on a cold day, they haven't played in weather like this. It was kind of chilly and rainy at home against UNLV last week. But I think it's very important that the Dogs protect the football today. I think maybe they'll try to establish a running game, maybe not throw as much. Well, that'll be dictated probably by the Utah State defense, what they try to do.
Kevin, you played in this weather not a lot of times. What do you have to do from a quarterback perspective?
Well, Trent's got an opportunity. He's got big hands. I had little hands, so the ball is real slick when it's cold like this. Trent Dilfer has big hands. Just control the football. We talked about it before. It's a precious commodity. Don't turn it over.
Coach Jim Sweeney, 5 times the Big West Conference Coach of the Year. Try to win that honor for a 6th consecutive time. Fresno State will get the football first.
If he does, it'll be the last time he ever wins it.
Yeah, that's a guarantee.
Dogs leaving the Big West Conference, going to the WAC next year.
Sean Jones, number 3, will come on. He has the best leg of any of the kickers here at Utah State. They have another excellent placement specialist in Doug Beach, but this guy has a stronger leg. Kelvin Means, the man deep, number 13 to watch. 24 yards a return. One of the very best of the Big West Conference. So we're about ready to begin the 62nd homecoming game for the Utah State Aggies. Jones, the junior from Taylorsville, Utah. Aggies last week lost 7-6 at Long Beach State, while the Bulldogs were hammering Nevada, Las Vegas for their 7th consecutive victory. And we're underway. A short kick taken at the 20-yard line. And the up back takes it to the 35-yard line. Eric Kroll with a 15-yard return. And he had the sure hands. There's Trent Dilfer's numbers, 75% for 255 yards, no interceptions. He has not thrown for any touchdowns, but he's run for 4 scores, 3 against UNLV last week. And in a brilliant effort of 33 yards. From the I formation. And Daigle tripped up near the line of scrimmage by Vanderpool, number 74, and Jacobs, number 95. Daigle last year, a transfer from El Camino Real, and last week had 124 yards rushing against Nevada, Las Vegas. He's in the backfield with Lorenzo Neal, the wide receivers Sebring and Means, Thompson, the tight end. That offensive line has been magnificent. Melvin Johnson, an All-American prospect. Dilfer to throw. To Lorenzo Neal, across the 45 to the 48, and he has a first down. Lorenzo Neal's had a very good year catching the football, and he is very close this year to rushing for 1,000 yards in his career. Jacobs, Vanderpool, who intercepted a ball for a touchdown last week. Dale Lyles, a terrific linebacker, and a secondary that features Damon Smith and Ron Edwards. Edwards has intercepted Ty Detmer 3 times in his career. First down for Fresno State at their 49. And Lorenzo Neal powers into Utah State territory at the 47-yard line.
Bulldogs have shown no problem moving the football early in this one. They are the leading total offense team in the nation, 569 yards. They have completed a pass, made a couple of good runs. They look like they're right in Fresno weather form at 95 degrees when we started out the season.
Remember, 22 degrees at this point. The series tied at 8-1. The tie last year, 24-24 at Bulldog Stadium. The deep pitch to Anthony Daigle. He cannot turn the corner as he's greeted and tagged hard by Dale Lyles.
Good job of stringing that out by number 99, Steve Needleman. That allowed the linebackers to close and plug the holes. If the tackle on that side can string the play out, they get the great pursuit from the inside.
We've played a minute and a half. The Bulldogs have been able to penetrate into Utah State territory, but now Trent Dilfer is looking at 3rd down and nearly 7. We'll call it a long 6 for Dilfer. He's 1 for 1 as he hit Lorenzo Neal out of the backfield on this drive. Dilfer, an excellent scrambler, and he's very close to the sticks.
One of the things Trent's going to have to learn to do is get down and take a neat slide, protect yourself, especially in the situation Fresno State with 2 quarterbacks, Brian Rowe backing up Trent Dilfer. I got knocked out here when I was a freshman, Randy.
you have
so I know about sliding up here.
The big question, have you recovered?
I still have some memories in that locker room laying down.
They'll measure for the first down. Dogs in a position where it would be 4th and inches if they're short. Probably would go for it on this first series at the 42-yard line of Utah State.
Dilfer at 6'5", moved it downfield, and he has the first down. Not by much.
Trent used that 6'5" height to pick up an inch or two. That's what it took to get the first down there.
22 degrees here in Logan, Utah. Beautiful sunshine day, but I'll tell you, you better have those mitts on. Little chilly. And certainly that's going to be a factor, you would think, that would aid and abet Utah State. They're more accustomed to this. Dilfer on first down, looking to throw. And from behind, down he goes. Penetration from the blind side from Greg Davis, the outside linebacker.
Well, they call him the blood linebacker or the rush linebacker. Greg Davis is the guy that comes. They play a three-man front, but they always bring a minimum of 4. Davis was blocked, but just got off the block by Ron Collins, came around the backside and nails Dilfer right in the small of the back.
Bulldogs shuttle the play in via the wide receiver. Sebron in as Ross goes out. Sebron deployed to the right side. Kelvin Means has caught 10 balls in the last 2 games for the Bulldogs to the left side. Dilfer pressured over the middle to Lorenzo Neal, but he's hit down at the 45-yard line. And Dilfer took quite a hit from Joe Jacobs when he released the football.
Utah State putting early pressure on Dilfer. They've sacked him once, and they got a good hit on him after he released the ball right there. In fact, they got him on his follow-through that caused the ball to wobble.
Dilfer, a very strong young man from Aptos, California. Redshirt freshman. Very impressive, moving the Bulldogs to a touchdown after Barsotti's injury at New Mexico State. Then really, after a few butterflies early, a flawless performance against Nevada Las Vegas last week. Nearly slips, but he has a receiver wide open for a first down.
Michael Ross coming across the middle, good clear out that time. And Ross cut underneath across the middle. Malcolm Sebron cleared out the area.
Excellent pass protection this time for Trent Dilfer. Takes a 7-step drop, little slip in the back. Great throw to Michael Ross. Michael protects himself, gets down before he takes a big hit.
Kevin, this is an excellent group of Bulldog receivers, and they're very young.
The young, they're getting great experience, great opportunity for them.
On the drive, Dilfer is a perfect 3 for 3 and 36 yards. Daigle. No running room.
Decent block that time by Lorenzo Neal, but Daigle didn't read that block and went right into the stack. He had an opening to the outside. Sometimes the running back puts his head down, doesn't see that opening.
You have to wonder a little bit, Dave, maybe if the footing wasn't there, able to make that cut.
Kevin, I see your shoes. You got grass and mud all over them. How was the footing? You went down on the field before the game.
It was at 10 o'clock this morning. It was a lot better. Yeah, as time goes on and things start to thaw, it's going to get a little soggy.
Come on, you can smell it. Come on. Let's go, buddy.
Dilfer on the rollout. Another accurate throw, this one to Malcolm Sebron.
I can't tell you how impressed I am right now with Trent Dilfer, freshman quarterback coming in. The environment, it's his first game that he's started on the road. Just excellent execution, 4 for 4. Here you'll see the play action. Comes out, perfect throw. It's cold, people. It's 22 degrees, and to be able to continue and execute like this is outstanding.
Kevin, they talked about the fact he was tentative early last week. He doesn't look tentative today.
Just going after and executing.
Out of the I formation with twin receivers to the left side for Fresno State, trying to get on the board early. 9:45 left. And the pitch to Daigle. He has the outside, and he's down near the 11-yard line. Where Martinez made the hit.
Dogs came in converting 56% of all third down opportunities. They're 3 for 3 on this drive. 3rd and 5. Watch the block by Lorenzo Neal. Boom. Daigle reads that block and gets the first down.
These Bulldogs are ranked 23rd in the USA Today poll. Number 25 in the Associated Press poll.
Dogs inside the red zone. They are 35 for 39 inside the 20-yard line. 33 touchdowns and 2 field goals. That's 90%. I don't think there's anybody better in the country than that.
The pitch to Daigle, and he cannot turn the corner. Excellent penetration from this Utah State defense, and leading the penetration was Israel Byrd, number 27. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for Fresno State.
Fresno State coaches want Trent Dilfer to pitch the football in that option unless it's 100% open that he can run the football. get the balls in the running back's hands.
A sustained drive, 8:50 left first quarter. Fresno State took the opening kickoff, started from the 35, and they've marched down to the 11-yard line. Trent Dilfer's a perfect 4 for 4 in the air. Sweep left side. And Lorenzo Neal's cut down at the 9-yard line. Toby Tyler and Neeleman, number 99, up to great Lorenzo Neal.
Both times they've tried to go wide left. The play has been strung out by Neeleman, and the linebackers have closed again. Can't turn the corner here. See the ball play getting strung out. Neeleman on the outside turns it back in, and here comes the inside help.
That Aggie defensive line doing it against a Fresno State offensive line anchored by guard Melvin Johnson. And Matt Marson talked about that offensive line. He's the editor from the Football News. He says it's as good as any in the Pac-10. So the Aggies are trying to stand tall against a great offensive line. Dilfer nearly intercepted. Israel Byrd had it go into and out of his grasp.
Well, Trent Dilfer got a little bit lucky here. Don't want to throw that ball into coverage. One thing you want to do coming down and driving the football this far is get positive points. You see the bootleg, had plenty of time. A little scary.
Byrd really closed fast in the ball. Derek Mahoney will attempt a field goal. It'll be 27 yards.
Out of the hold of Brian Rowe, the reserve quarterback. And Mahoney splits the uprights, and it is Fresno State with 7:53 left in the opening quarter that takes the early lead, 3-0. No ring to my notes or anything. You did a good job. You did everything.
Yeah.
As long as you know the players.
I know the players. The players I know.
Didn't develop. They're doing good on defense. They really did.
Got all those red penetration lines there. I'll tell you, Campbell, you got them in there in a hurry.
Red zone.
Yeah.
First time there.
They scored again.
You know, they ran that football to get it over on the left hash. You want to talk about that, Ever? Well, it's a lot easier as a right-footed kicker to kick from the left hash than across. You're kicking it across.
Donna Hampton and Floyd Foreman.
Kicking off for the Bulldogs is Mahoney. Back to 28. 21 is Floyd Foreman. 42, John Smith.
Blakeney, Shoddy.
27-yard field goal, right? Derek Mahoney's 27-yard field goal at the 7:53 mark of the opening quarter has given the Bulldogs the early 3-0 lead. Mahoney kicking off. And Utah State will go on the offensive for the first time today. Floyd Foreman on the return. And his hard running takes it out across the 30-yard line. The quarterback of the Aggies is Ron Lopez. 1,649 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Had similar numbers here last year. The Aggies' problem has been absolutely no running game. And they have a great setback at number 35, Roger Grant, who nearly rushed for 200 yards against the Bulldogs last year. Play action. And Chad Tigert dropped it. And we may see a lot of drops in this weather today. Now that offense, Grant and Tigert, Tracy Jenkins and Rod Moore, the best pair of wide receivers in the Big West. That offensive line has been banged up all season long. Warren Bowers, fine center, anchors the line.
Randy, you said the best pair. Willie Robinson, the assistant defensive coordinator for Fresno State, says that they are the 2 best receivers in the Big West.
Individually, he rates them 1-2. Tiger with running room to the 40, and Marquez Popes takes him down outside the 45. First down, Utah State. And Dave Campbell, last year, the Aggies moved the ball against Fresno State at Bulldog Stadium.
Well, you saw Roger Grant, number 35, in your picture there. He was not the ball carrier as we look at the Dog defense, but that was a defense that allowed 197 yards to Roger Grant last year, who was a terrific running back.
Marquez Pope, one of the great safeties in the country, and he made a stop there of Tigert, who had broken free. 45-yard line, first down, Utah State. This is Roger Grant, and down he goes in the backfield. Judd Fowl, 92, with the initial penetration and the takedown.
You've got to appreciate Judd Fowl. It's 22 degrees. We keep telling you this. Judd Fowl's out there. He's got his jersey half cut up on his stomach, no shirt, long sleeve, sucking it up and playing in the conditions.
Jim Sweeney said Judd Fowl is showing the most improvement as a senior of any player he's ever had between the junior and senior year.
Wyatt has been inserted. Number 82 is a wide receiver to the top of your screen. Twin receivers back to the right, and Jenkins in motion. 2nd and 13. Lopez too tall for Jenkins.
Tracy Jenkins last year led the nation in touchdown receptions with 14. This year he only has 3 TDs, but he and Rob Moore again are the top 2 of the top 3 receivers reception-wise in the conference. He's wide open across the middle, just can't hold on. Hard throw, but a little bit behind. Tracy Jenkins can't bring it in.
And Jenkins last year had 6 catches against Fresno State for 71 yards and a touchdown. 42 catches on the year this year for Jenkins. So on 3rd down and 13, big situation for Ron Lopez early in the ball game. And it's tipped away. That was intended for Foreman coming out of the backfield. And the Bulldog defense holds, and Ron Lopez will trot off.
Great defense here by Darren Boyer, number 36 for the Bulldogs. Got the one-on-one coverage with Roger Grant. He's all over. Excellent football play. Close.
Got away with a hook with the left hand, but the officials couldn't see it. It's okay as long as you get away with it.
Of course, Darren Boyer, he's one guy that is accustomed to this kind of climate. He's from right around here, Hooper, Utah. Went to Snow Junior College, in fact, which isn't too far away. Excellent punt. And you can see the negative yardage there. Slippery, and those things are going to happen. The Bulldogs, nevertheless, will have the football. They're leading 3-0, but as Sebring slips down, they'll have to travel 95 yards.
Froze toes in. You're froze toes in?
Today, for just $1, we'll have a lucky number for the first
Wendy Wildenbloom.
For your chance to win Boombox, VCR, or television from Lynn's Audio Video with your game program. Again, that's coming up here in the first half. We'll have that number. The Aggie basketball team will have a scrimmage right after the game in the Steve Smith Spectrum. And then save your football ticket for today. You get free in tonight's Aggie volleyball match against San Jose at 7:30 in the Spectrum. The first 1,000 fans tonight will get a free poster on the Aggie team.
Why is Billy Scott starting instead of...
Because he beat him out.
Okay. Was that in the depth chart Monday? I didn't see that.
Didn't happen till Monday.
Want Jason to work a little harder, maybe?
Yeah, and also I think, you know, for the future is the fact that maybe Jason James might move to right tackle.
Really? Where would Hardwick go? Or wouldn't he? He's a junior, isn't he?
He's a junior. Jason can play guard. He can just to get more experience throughout, rather than having 2 of your most experienced guys playing center.
After a 53-yard punt by Rusty Carlson, the Bulldogs will start from their 5-yard line. Leading by 3-0. Derek Mahoney with a 27-yard field goal. Ron Rivers inserted as the I-back for the Bulldogs, number 20. But this is Lorenzo Neal, who cuts up field for 2 yards in the grasp of Dale Lyles, number 49.
Kevin, let me ask you something. We talked about the footing. What different type of option do the players have as far as shoes and different size cleats, and when would they be likely to change?
Well, they wear Nikes, and they wear the offensive linemen wear the big cleats, but the receivers and quarterbacks either wear Sharks, which is a multi-molded cleat, or they wear Tiempos, which is like a soccer shoe.
Ron Rivers' first carry, and he hits it to the 10-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and a short 5 for the Fresno State Bulldogs. Of course, Ron Rivers, the leading ball carrier for the Bulldogs in his sophomore year, 541 yards, averaging nearly 8 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns. He missed last week's action against UNLV, though.
Yeah, and did not start today. Had a thigh bruise. Anthony Dago certainly filled in admirably. Came up with a big 73-yard run early in the game, but Rivers is back in there right now.
3rd down and a long 4 for the Bulldogs from just outside their 10-yard line. And Dilfer goes to Marty Thompson. And Thompson has got a pass in every game this season, has a 1st down.
Well, the height advantage that Trent Dilfer has over a lot of quarterbacks, being 6'5", is he has great vision. He can see over what's up in front of him. Be an excellent opportunity for Trent to dump the ball off to tight ends and running backs. See here, he just takes a 5-step drop. Marty Thompson comes across the field. Big, tall kid can throw it over people.
Nice job by Ron Rivers picking up the blitzing Del Lyles, the linebacker, as well. That allowed that play to get off.
Had a good catch by Thompson, fighting off linebacker Jermaine Younger. Outside, Neal, out across the 20, fighting hard for that extra yard to the 22-yard line.
Kevin, let me ask you again on the cleats. Now, if the running backs and wide receivers were really starting to get a lot of slippage as this field wears now, could they go to the longer cleats?
As they go into halftime, they could go to the longer cleats and make that change. I think that appears to me Trent Dilfer's wearing a Shark, which is the multi-molded cleat. Gives you more stability.
Dilfer off to an excellent start, 5 of 6 and 48 yards. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left first quarter, 3-0 Bulldogs. And our first penalty marker, and the Bulldogs may have taken too much time. Although the clock reads still 8 seconds.
Now,
so I don't know what to
somebody moved a little bit.
One of the interior linemen, it might have been Billy Scott moving the ball, or it could have been Melvin Johnson. They were pointing right in the middle of the line.
And Billy Scott has won the honor as the Bulldogs center this week.
Let's see if Melvin moves. Yep, Melvin. Got to stand still.
Not fun, you know. You think maybe I can get a. Hopefully nobody saw me move.
Yeah. No, so I didn't move much.
Right. Hey, when you're 300 pounds, everybody sees you move.
300?
300 plus.
The biscuit.
2nd down. Ron Rivers can't control that high aerial. It'll be 3rd down and long.
I thought, Kevin, the first bad pass that Dilfer threw, he looked like he really didn't take his time. He could have lost
kind of rushed that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he knew that they were going to be coming strong from the right side and wanted to hurry and get it out there to him.
One of the reasons the Dogs have had such great success on 3rd down conversions is they don't get in this 3rd and 10 situation very often, but they've had some long 3rd down pickups. Last time they ran a clear out.
Michael Ross.
From the 18, 3rd and long. Dilfer with play action. Over the middle for Ron Rivers. And he's close to a 1st down, putting the head down.
Well,
Neelam in 99 was holding on, but little Ron Rivers, diminutive in stature, just rolled him over.
I have never seen 2 backs that have the ability to break tackles and to keep things alive and make positive yardage. Trent Dilfer does an excellent job of play action, steps up in the pocket, and here's what we talked about, dumping the ball off and letting the good athletes go for it. Ron Rivers, just super power. Gets a little help there.
And Steve Neeleman will give him an assist for pushing Rivers along, and they do pick up the 1st down. Another thing in that play is Jermaine Younger, one of the inside linebackers, was trying to get off the field. I didn't think he made it. That should have been a 5-yard penalty for him at least making an attempt to get off the field as opposed to 12 men on the field, but they didn't throw the flag.
This Bulldog team averages nearly 30 1st downs a game, and they never turn it over. They already have 5 1st downs in this game, only 6 turnovers this year, 3 fumbles and 3 interceptions. And they'll keep it on the ground out across the 30-yard line. How conservative do you get, Kevin, on a day like today where it's so cold?
Well, you want to be a little conservative and not turn the ball over. You're more conservative where the Bulldogs started this drive in your own 5-yard line. As they get out farther past midfield, they might open it up a little bit, throw the ball farther downfield.
Rod Rivers picks up 5 yards on that first down charge.
One of the things Rich Olson, the offensive coordinator, was talking about with Dilfer, he wanted to improve his ball handling. He looked like he's carrying out his fakes better today.
Good protection. He has room, and he will run. That's a first down for Trent Dilfer, working through traffic. He weaved. He was bobbing and weaving. Looked like a boxer out there. Vanderpool finally dropped him, but first down for the elusive Dilfer.
Kevin, I don't think he's going to listen to you about taking a knee once he gets downfield.
Oh, that's okay.
He's looking for that.
He's a big, strong kid, and he can take it maybe a lot better than I could. Trent just keeping things alive, not wanting to throw the ball into coverage, getting good help by everybody, all of his teammates looking upfield for him.
Hard to believe he's a freshman. He does everything like a veteran. Very cool under pressure. 6'5" freshman Trent Dilfer. He wants it all. He's throwing it deep downfield for Seabrook, and it's knocked away by Israel Bird.
I can see Trent. He wanted that bad, and he's out on the field swinging his arm. He's a little upset with himself.
I think Malcolm Seabrook was looking right back into the bright sun, and he jumped a little early. If he would have timed his leap a little better, he would have been at the top of his jump. Israel Bird's done a nice job, but I think Seabrook's going to jump a little early here. Yeah, he's on his way down now, and I think it was just looking into the sun that caused him not to see the ball very well.
Trent would like to throw that football a little farther across the field.
2nd and 10 at the Bulldog 44. And the flat to Rivers. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. He runs through everyone to the 24-yard line.
I'd have to venture to say that his size a little better.
Yeah, that was the same play he tried to throw right. He had a much better touch in this. Ron Collins with a key block to knock out
Got too many
David
people
Smith.
in the way or he'd score.
Tacklers just slide off this young man. Good numbers catching the ball, and we all know he's the Bulldogs' leading rusher. They spot the ball just inside the 25.
Dogs doing a little bit to try to neutralize that linebacker pursuit. A fake draw and then a quick screen outside. That'll stop some of that middle rush.
Ross, that means deployed to the right side. On the handoff, Lorenzo Neal. Down to the 22-yard line. Stephen Robinson, 97, making the stop.
Willie Jackson closed fast from an inside linebacker spot. Utah State rotating their linebackers, but the Dogs are on a 95-yard march at this point. They started on their own 5-yard line.
And keep in mind, this first quarter only has a minute and a half left. Utah State has had the football once, and they were forced to punt after gaining 1 first down. 2nd down and 7. Ball control par excellence for Fresno State in the opening stanza. Dilfer on the option in the pitch. And running room on the corner for Lorenzo Neal. It'll be 1st and goal, Bulldogs at the 5-yard line.
Just excellent execution. Great pitch by Trent Dilfer. Trent was an option quarterback in high school, so he's got the ability to pitch with both hands with confidence. Comes down the line of scrimmage. We talked about pitching the football, getting it in the great athlete's hands.
Nice block downfield by Anthony Daigle. That sprung Lorenzo for about an extra 10 yards.
16 yards for Lorenzo Neal on that one. 1st and goal with the ball placed inside the 6 between the 5 and 6 yard line. And the quick hitter to Neal, and he stood up at the 5. Robinson, 97. And Neeleman, number 99, has been very good on that front wall for Utah State early in this game.
Bulldogs just trying a little quick draw trap, getting inside. Too many bodies for Lorenzo to move for positive yardage.
Final 25 seconds of this opening quarter. Derek Mahoney has the only points. A 27-yard field goal for the Bulldogs. But now Fresno State, which has moved the ball 90 yards, is at the 5. Sweep right side with Neal. Head down to the 2-yard line.
Lorenzo, if he had a little more confidence in his speed there and his footing, might have wanted to take that outside.
And that will do it for the opening quarter.
No, they just called the time. Yeah, now they call it. But Lorenzo is down.
Officials timeout as Lorenzo Neal is helped up. And he appears to be okay. The opening quarter is over. Fresno State is leading 3-0. And when we come back, we'll be at the 3-yard line of Utah State. The second quarter is next on KMPH.
Willie Jackson or Del Lyles. Are we away? I hope. I never heard commercial cue. Okay, Coach. What do you call 3rd and 3?
Roll with him.
I'd like to see him do the option again.
Well,
I didn't know if we were out. I didn't. You got it.
No, it was the end of the quarter. All of a sudden, the officials called time with 2 seconds left because the guy was down.
Option.
I bet they run that full house and that pass.
Bootleg?
No, not the bootleg, but
the double misdirection, the inside back going to the flat.
Yeah.
Coming out to the right side, yeah.
The one they ran against New Mexico State.
They're playing real soft against it.
Are they?
Utah State is, yeah. You know, they're not into a goal line. They're not playing the goal line defense against it. Or they hadn't.
See, ball's on the 3. I know. I'm just wondering about field position.
Really?
Hey, what was time of possession in the first quarter? Do we know?
I would say 12-3.
Oh, at least that. They only had.
Might have been 13.
On the back side, minute 28 was the team champion. The Aggies finished third.
While Lorenzo Neal was shaken up on that carry, one of the Utah State defenders was also shaken up, and Neal appears to be okay. But the Utah State gentleman is down for the moment. We're going to step aside for 30 seconds, and we'll be back to Logan with the Bulldogs leading 3-0.
Howard, they're going to get a stretcher, so this is going to be some time here if you got something you want to fill with. Did you hear me, Howard? They're going to get a stretcher, so it's going to be some time before they get this guy out. Okay.
Can we see who? We don't know who that is, though, right?
I have 1332 to 128.
Yeah, the Aggie player is still down, and unfortunately, apparently they've called for a stretcher. So we have a bit of a delay here with the Bulldogs leading 3-0, and we have not begun the second quarter to this point. I'm Randy Rosenblum with Dave Campbell and Kevin Sweeney on a very chilly afternoon in Logan, Utah. The Bulldogs leading 3-0 on Derek Mahoney's 27-yard field goal. And the Bulldogs are currently at the 3-yard line. And we understand now that it is Jermaine Younger, an outstanding linebacker, who is down. The stats in the first quarter, and believe me, totally dominated by Fresno State. There are the numbers. Pacific Bell tells us this is really one-sided.
Well, the time of possession there, and Bulldogs only coming away with 3 points, but they've the 95-yard, actually they've gone 93 yards as of yet. This has really accumulated a lot of time.
Bulldogs came in with 209 first downs to the opponent's 110, almost double. We are getting a stretcher out, but there is some good news. Jermaine Younger has been moving his feet. He kicked his legs up a couple of times, so there, even if it is apparently a neck injury, there doesn't appear to be any kind of paralysis.
And we're going to take another look at the collision with Neal and Younger.
Younger is 51 coming in, leading with his head, and you see the head goes down. So it is probably some type of neck injury, but again, he has been moving his legs and arms, and so it isn't any paralysis. They're just doing this for precaution.
Kevin, emotionally, how difficult will it be now for the Aggies? They see one of their players stricken, hopefully not seriously, for them to rekindle the fire and come out and try to play hard.
Well, they're going to continue to play hard. It's important for Fresno State that they get a touchdown here.
And we'll be back after this.
I went to a commercial.
It's important that we get that Fresno State gets a touchdown.
Good.
Because, you know, otherwise the time of possession and the dominance really doesn't come to show. 6 points, heck, we can do that quickly.
Yeah, they can make one big play with their receivers and they lead.
Those receivers scare me.
Well, we got pretty good DBs.
I know, but you can't.
It's a good. Yeah, really.
You can't bump them off their routes like you can.
Well, they're
the
so
little
big.
guys. Yeah.
They're big and they just soon run through you than around you. I'll tell you, the kid that's quick is Lamar.
Promo.
Unbelievable. Charlie Jones.
Charlie Hoover.
Charlie Jones.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, get off this shot if they're going to do a promo.
The injured Aggie is, ladies and gentlemen, number 51, Jermaine Younger.
Ooh. Got that. Jermaine? Fast.
The outrageous comedy of Sam Kinison is coming to Fox 26. Now, don't miss the special sneak preview of Charlie Hoover. That's coming up at halftime of today's game. It's currently 3-0, Fresno State leading. And they are perched in between the 2- and 3-yard line of Utah State. And injured linebacker Jermaine Younger of the Aggies is being helped off, and no one ever likes to see a sight like that. And hopefully he'll be all right. Back on the Aggie sideline in the near future.
Well, we know Jerome is from California. Could have some relatives watching, but again, a couple of times when we weren't looking, he was moving his legs and arms. Appeared to be okay from that standpoint.
Full house backfield for the Dogs. Sweep near side. This will be a touchdown for Lorenzo Neal.
What a bunch of crushing blocks. The final one delivered by Mike Berg. I mean, that was no contest.
Lorenzo all the way in the end zone, untouched. Trent Dilfer did a great job of ball handling there, executing his fake. Took 3 Aggie defenders the other way.
And it's 9-0 Bulldogs, and Mahoney has had a great year with PATs, although he's missed but one. Sticks another one through. 14:57 left first half. We'll take another break. It's looking good for the Bulldogs. They're dominating Utah State to the tune of 10-0.
That's big.
Did Blakeney not make the trip?
Yeah, he did not make the trip.
He did not make the flight, as I understand it, so we probably don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Nice guy. He was sick.
Okay, I don't blame you. It was cold. They're big. It's a big piece of glass. It's hard to clean. It was chilly. That's where the insurance fell.
Besides the football, the Cosby,
Doesn't matter. It's a back. I like softball. It's kind of a good effect. Hey, are you going home at halftime?
One of the most impressive drives of the year for the Bulldogs. 15 plays, 95 yards. Lorenzo Neal scores for the 6th time this year.
It was so long, it seemed like it was yesterday that started.
Seems like that for the Utah State offense and the Bulldog defense. They haven't been on the field in a while as Foreman comes out of the end zone. And he moves it out to the 19-yard line, hit by Alan Shoddy, number 55.
Floyd Foreman, one of several Utah State athletes who have famous relatives. He's a second cousin of the former heavyweight champ, George Foreman.
It's my field of dreams.
Doesn't pack the same punch as George, though.
He was second team All-Big West last year as a backup to Roger Grant, who was the All-Big West running back.
And Foreman had a big game against the Bulldogs. 9 carries, 89 yards a year ago. All in the second half. Lopez throwing. It's out of bounds, no good. No catch to Rod Moore.
That was just a terrific play by two different players. Braxton makes a great play, but it bounces off him. Moore maintains contact, makes a brilliant catch, but they say it's all for naught. He stepped out of bounds.
Just great football all around by all three players. There's an excellent throw by Lopez. You can see he's out of bounds there. His right foot was out of bounds.
Just a great athletic play by two different guys, but it goes for naught. Braxton looked back just at the right time, but just couldn't quite get his hands in the right position.
2nd down and 10, a near miss for the Aggies to Rod Moore. Now the juggling act on the far sideline. Tigert with the carry, and Darren Boyer, number 36, able to knife in to make the stop.
Kevin, you and I were talking on a commercial break about the size of the two wide receivers for Utah State. The Bulldogs play such great bump and run, but it's going to be tough to knock these guys off their routes.
They're not Emery and Tony Brown. Neither of them are real tall defensive backs. They're both running around 5'10". Moore and Jenkins have height. They're strong. They're big receivers. Willie Robinson says they just soon run through you than around you.
We have a Bulldog injured on the field. He's up and leaving. Who is it? Zach Ricks?
Zach Ricks.
Boy, has he played great football this year for Fresno State.
In the last 4 games, boy, he's really has come of age. Making great plays against a run. Excellent pass rusher.
Jim Strong, the UNLV coach, I thought gave him a great compliment. He said he reminded him of intensity and enthusiasm of Chris Zorich, who was the great nose guard at Notre Dame last year.
And Strong was at Notre Dame.
Ricks is out of the game, replaced by Earl Oliver, number 66 in that defensive front. 3rd down and 7 from the 22-yard line. And the blitz. And Sean Hampton open on the sideline. Now he had to get to the 29. And from our angle, he's just outside the 28. It does not appear that he has the necessary yardage.
Really a great touch throw by Ron Lopez. You'll see here, advantage of that height. You can see it, lops the ball over the defender, Darren Boyer, in the chase and pursuit. Marquez Pope in the position to make the tackle.
I tell you, I don't think he has a first down, and I think Chuck Shelton has a tough decision. You hate to gamble on your own 28-yard line, but the way Fresno State has dominated offensively, you almost hate to kick the ball back to him. I believe this is going to be at least a half yard short of the first down, and normally you would kick the ball, but the way Fresno State has dominated offensively, you might be tempted to go for it.
Well, they have a magnificent punter in Rusty Carlson. If they decide to kick it away, then it is a first down.
Well, they didn't have that spotted up on the right side, on the opposite side of the field where that marker was then.
There's our officiating crew led by Tony Corrente today. And they signaled first down, to the surprise of the 3 men up here in the booth. I did not think that he had gotten to the first down stick. Only out to the 28-yard line, but they give him the first down. And Ron Lopez sends twin receivers to the right side, with the Aggies trailing 10-0. And that running play goes nowhere. Tigert could not turn the corner.
Steve Lee made a great play, shedding the blocker, got into the backfield in an instant. You'll see him here, just was unable to keep his balance and make the play on Tigert. Steve Lee, great execution right there, defensive game plan. Stunting and getting inside, and everybody else pursues.
Number 36 on defense, Darren Boyer. Went an aroused game, coming back home. 2nd down, and better than 10. Lopez, with good protection, has Tracy Jenkins at the 40-yard line. That should be a first down.
Tracy Jenkins out of Tulare again last year. Tulare?
Not a Valley guy, are you, Dave?
Tulare.
It's Tulare. It's Tulare. Great throw there.
Well, he's out of Tulare, and he made a heck of a catch. They talk about the circus catches that he makes.
Oh, he's fearless. I mean, coming across there, we all know about the ability of Marquez Pope to light somebody up when he's making that tackle. Tracy Jenkins kept his feet there. Just a great play.
I thought I went through all those valley towns driving in from San Francisco earlier this year to make.
Have you been to Yosemite before?
No,
too,
Miss Yosemite. Is that close to Yosemite, maybe?
Real close to it.
You guys are killing me. There goes Roger Grant. He's on his way. Caught from behind by Braxton and Marquez Pope. And that ignites this homecoming crowd in Logan, Utah.
Well, Roger Grant, who ran for 197 against the Dogs last year, he had 292 yards in a game against Long Beach last year. He is hauled down from behind by Pope and Braxton, but his first big game of the day and big gain of the day. And for Utah State, they're down 10-0, but very much in this football game.
Give them the ability to keep on keeping on. Emory Braxton, I was a little curious. He did a good job by not trying to make the tackle too soon. Got onto him so he didn't evade him. And
that's a running back as Jason Mon is helped off the field. Another offensive lineman that goes down. That's a running back in Grant that rushed for 1,370 yards a year ago. He's moving up the charts here at Utah State. He's the 5th all-time leading rusher for the Aggies. At the 20-yard line, Utah State with its deepest penetration and their first scoring threat of the game. And it's Grant again, and he gains 5. In the grasp of Steve Lee.
The one place that Chuck Shelton felt that the Bulldogs weren't a dominant force in is the defensive line, that he had the advantage with his big offensive linemen and their experience to be able to come into the football game and try to run the football.
2 weeks ago, New Mexico State exploited that. They ran right at Fresno State and made good yardage. They had a 468-yard day.
2nd and 5 at the Bulldog 15. Moore, touchdown, as he turned Emory Braxton around, and Utah State is on the board.
8 touchdowns for Rob Moore, and again, this Utah State team, it's hard to figure how they can be 1-6 with the weapons they have, particularly on offense.
You see it's going to be one-on-one coverage. Emory Braxton down on the bottom left side of your screen just gets beat at the line of scrimmage. Moore, the outstanding quick receiver, easy touchdown for Utah State.
Again, Emory trying to knock those receivers off their routes. Tough to knock off guys that weigh 200 pounds.
Doug Beach, all Big West placement specialist. It's Utah State at 7th point. It's 10-7. The Bulldog lead has been carved to 3. 11:15 left first half. Fresno State will take the kickoff when we return to Logan, Utah. I don't like going one-on-one with those receivers. We need another Charlie Hoover promo. How are we doing in the cold weeks, guys? Nice.
Why?
Place to sleep.
Hey, you made money last night. You did. That surprise for you?
Huh?
You made money last night. Surprise for you?
So after the Bulldogs go 95 yards, the Aggies respond and go 81 on the touchdown aerial to culminate the drive. Lopez to the gifted wide receiver Rod Moore. Now Sean Jones advances on the football. And the return by Kelvin Means out near the 40-yard line. Bulldog fans, lock your tickets for Fresno State's next home game now. Get them by calling 278-DOGS. Bulldog tickets. This is an exciting football team, and when they come home, they'll be finishing up the season with the likes of Cal State Fullerton, and I expect to see Bulldog Stadium full for San Jose State. 278-DOGS. Dilfer on the rollout on first down. That was some pass. It was not caught, but he was able to throw that one through traffic, and Sebring could not hold on. This was a nice throw, Kevin
It was a nice
Sweeney.
throw, and it was the one. It's the same one that he almost threw the interception down at the goal line in the first quarter. Just great. Keep it on, keep it on. Utah State defense do an excellent job of playing soft against the bootleg, not creating angles for Trent to throw the football.
Same guy in all 3 breakups, Israel Byrd. He's been in the middle of everything. He's doing a good job, and he's replacing the starter at that position.
Play action. Dilfer's in trouble, but he runs around Neeleman. And then he's cut down by Stephen Robinson. But again, an elusive effort by this young man, Trent Dilfer.
I'm not so sure that he did this on purpose. You'll see, I think it was supposed to be a sweep to the right side, and Trent missed the handoff. Just did an excellent job, but great effort here. Reckless abandon with his body.
Well, the crowd is certainly into it now. You see Dilfer's rushing total. 10:25 left first half. Utah State and Fresno State in a heated battle on a cold afternoon. 10-7 Bulldogs. Dilfer again scrambling away. And hits his target, Michael Ross. That's a first down, Bulldogs, near the 30-yard line, but Dilfer is down,
again,
and he's getting up slowly.
He'll get up, and he loves this. He's a competitive kid. Just talk about a guy having fun playing football, going out. He's a freshman. He thought he was supposed to throw the hot to the left side of the receiver to Marty Thompson.
He wants a timeout, though. He's shaken up. He's already called for the timeout. That's a marvelous effort by Dilfer, but he took a big-time lick when he unloaded the ball.
Big question, Kevin, is he wearing rib pads? Because he takes his shot right in the midriff here.
Yeah, he does. I know that he's wearing rib pads.
Well, watch this shot right in the midsection. That's broken rib time.
It makes it fun playing quarterback there.
But it does appear that Trent will be okay. He'll shake off the cobwebs. And the Bulldogs lead 10-7. Back to Logan in a moment.
I love it.
That hurt me right there. Ribs. Huh?
Oh, huh? I love it because he's going to get challenged. I like it. It's a great experience for him. Come up here and play where it's cold.
Yeah, I just don't want any broken ribs though right now.
I'll explain. Oh, you get down.
We just don't want broken ribs. Right
It is funny to watch a guy. Yeah.
Red shirt.
Right. Blows the hot to the left side. Scrambles out to the right side.
That was a big third down because they were starting to get the crowd into what crowd they're in.
Just keeping things alive, having fun, doing things, you know, not being a robot.
What's his number?
8 for what?
Michael Ross, first catch, that's 2 catches.
Two big catches.
Yeah. 6 for 7 in third down conversions.
Is that all? 6 for 7 in third down conversions.
Trent Dilfer is okay, and Fresno State is doing fine offensively, leading 10-7 and driving at the 30-yard line of Utah State. Dilfer's thrown for over 100 yards in this game. 117 yards in the air for Trent Dilfer. They give to Ron Rivers, and he's tripped up from behind as Rivers was trying to get to the outside. Mark Johnson, the nose guard, just got the right arm out there and got Rivers to go down.
Mark Johnson's out of Mountain View. He was voted the nose guard of the decade in the Bay Area, but he has not been starting all that much here at Utah State.
Must have been a weak decade, huh?
No, nose guard of the decade.
High school nose guard. Yeah, it wouldn't be Michael Carter out of the 49ers, probably.
Second down and 10 from the 30. Another good throw. Marty Thompson has 9 yards to the 21. Dropped by Martinez. He does not have the look of a freshman quarterback, and I know he's a redshirt freshman, but he looks like he's been doing this for years.
Well, he's real confident. He took that good shot in the ribs. I'd like to see him being tested now as a freshman and getting into an environment where it's competitive and getting hit in his face and getting back in the line of scrimmage with his teammates. That's what's going to rally the troops.
One thing you can definitely see is that flak jacket or rib protection. I went to a San Diego State game earlier this year. That great freshman running back they have, Marshall Falk, who was leading the nation in rushing at the time, he took a shot like that without the rib pads. He had broken ribs and a punctured lung. He was out for 3 weeks. In fact, he won't play this week, but probably next week. But it's a good thing Dilfer had those pads on.
Bulldogs are about 2 inches short. You see Melvin Johnson's going to go talk to the referees and see, make sure they're reading it okay.
Melvin ever talk about wanting to go in the backfield like Fridge for a short yardage play or anything like that?
He'd love to do that someday.
Pretty good basketball player is Melvin Johnson.
Well, he's going to go out for the basketball
Play
team,
point
I
guard,
think, as
huh?
soon as the season's over.
Gary Colson's going, what?
Well, he needs a point guard, doesn't he? I mean, Gary's got a pretty good...
He could clear the lane.
Melvin clear traffic out and then send a trailing guard down the middle for the ball.
Understand that Greg Guy, by the way, is an excellent point guard for the Bulldogs coming in. And there are others, believe me. Gary Colson figures to have an outstanding team. 3rd and inches. The Bulldogs offense, not much, but that is a first down.
Once again, Bulldogs have such great success going to that full house backfield, and when teams show the ability to stop it, they have bootleg off it, they have play action passes. It's an excellent goal line and short yardage offense.
Now, the red zone is 20 yards and in, correct?
Well, they're at the 20 and 1 inch, so they're not quite there yet.
I still think that's the red zone.
Okay. Well, they're 2 for 2 today in the red zone, 1 field goal and 1 touchdown. And again, on the season now, 37 out of 41 times the 20 on in they've scored.
Dilfer threw that one away. Ron Edwards was in great secondary coverage on Michael Ross, and Dilfer had pressure and unloaded in a hurry.
Good job of staying home by Greg Davis, the rush linebacker. He stayed right on Dilfer, wasn't fooled by the bootleg, and Trent had to unload in a hurry.
You guys call it the red zone. Dan Marino, the quarterback from Miami Dolphins, he calls it the green zone.
I think green is better. I mean, that's
where
fader.
That's where he makes all his cash.
Second down and 10 at the 20. That's Ron Rivers in motion. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. It's Sebron on the post pattern. Had a step. The ball was delivered, then the hit, and the near miss for the Bulldogs.
I think that Malcolm would like to have that opportunity to catch that football again. He let it get into his body. He was well covered. If he reaches out and tries to catch that ball with his hands before it gets by him, he'd have a better opportunity to catch it.
Last week, the Bulldogs put up 48 points against UNLV. In fact, the last 4 games, the Bulldogs have been over 40. They have 10 in the first half. They're threatening here, but it's 3rd and 10. And down goes Trent Dilfer, and the ball is free. Joe Jacobs has it for Utah State.
Safety blitz by Damon Smith hit Dilfer on the blind side. They say the ball got loose before Dilfer's down, and only the 7th turnover of the year for the Dogs.
Bulldogs try to do a draw pass, poor protection by the just blitz. Can't pick that up. You'll see the ball scrambling around. I actually thought Trent might have been down, but he lost the football.
It's actually Toby Tyler on the blitz. I saw the 5, but not the 2. It's Toby Tyler. You mentioned famous relatives. His cousin Wendell Tyler, the former great UCLA running back.
Had some great years with the San Francisco 49ers. At the 29-yard line, Lopez and the Aggies down by 3. And Roger Grant, who broke free on the last series of downs, hits it for 3 yards. It's a tough running back. Dave alluded to it earlier. He rushed for 194 yards in that 24-24 tie last year at Bulldog Stadium.
Fresno State did not come in here, folks, despite the fact Utah State was 1-6, and feel this was a walkover by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they're going to play.
Always been tested here.
This is their bowl game. Anytime, every team that Fresno State's going to play in the Big West this year is going to be shooting for them. They're leaving, going to the WAC. They want that opportunity to knock the Bulldogs off that pedestal.
Roger Grant again.
Great play by Stacy Wilcox. Strong safety on the weak side.
Yeah, Stacy's done a terrific job this year. He sometimes gets lost in the shadow of Marquez Pope, but that's his 2nd big tackle. He's working on the kickoff team today also, and he made a great kickoff tackle on a kickoff earlier in the game.
On that occasion, Wilcox was not blocked. He came in uncontested and knocked down Grant. But Grant's picked up 46 yards in this first half. Keep in mind, there's been an absence of a running game for Utah State all year long. Although Grant rushed for better than 100 yards, against Long Beach State just last week. On third down, Lopez never saw Jeff Thiessen from the outside, the linebacker blitz, and really took a good shot at Ron Lopez. So the sack at its fourth down, and that'll bring on the All-Big West Conference punter, Rusty Carlson.
Trent Dilfer was throwing the ball on the sidelines. He took 2 good shots in his rib cage on that last series. One on the last play that he fumbled on, so I'm sure that his body's getting a little beat up early.
Carlson earlier had a 53-yard punt. In fact, earlier in his career, he had a 70-yarder against BYU. And he roots out another dandy to Malcolm Seabrun. And he calls for the fair catch at the 35. So with 6:48 left in the first half, the Bulldogs lead 10-7. And when we return, it'll be Fresno State going back on the offensive.
You look like, Barsotti, Dollar, touchdown.
The premiere of the new Fox comedy, Charlie Hoover.
To Larry. Hey, well, you know, everybody makes a mistake now and then. You don't live in the valley. Show your ignorance if you open your mouth enough.
Hey, it's
what?
Is it snowing, or is that just coming off the press box?
Come on, Randy.
It has to have.
It's coming. Look at that. Look it up there.
I'm busting you hard for that.
You have to have clouds.
Come on, I was kidding you guys. Oh, you guys! I took them for a ride.
Hey, they weren't inside. See, they were on the 20 and 1 inch line. They were not in the red zone. See, it made a difference. But it wasn't on the 20.
Definitely in a red zone.
Hello. Check.
The premiere of the new Fox comedy, Charlie Hoover, featuring the outrageous Sam Kinison, is only 1 week away. And coming up at halftime of today's game, you'll see a special sneak preview. Charlie Hoover premiering next Saturday night at 9 o'clock on KMPH Fox 26. Well, the Bulldogs defense stands tall after a Fresno State turnover. Jim Sweeney looking on. Covered up nicely on a brisk day. 22 degrees at kickoff here in Logan. And the Bulldogs protecting a 3-point lead at 10-7. Play action. Dilfer. What a throw to Kelvin Means and a good grab. And now they're going to come in and rule it no good. It looked like a catch. One official said yes.
3 officials said yes, but the back judge who had a look at it said that Kelvin dropped it. No argument from Kelvin, so evidently the ball got loose just as he was hitting the turf.
Well, this is not like Kelvin Means. We've seen him make some great plays. This is a perfect throw. He's got to go down for the ball a little bit. Ground can't cause a fumble. What?
That looked like a catch to me, guys. That's why I called it that way.
Well, you saw him double grab for it, and this timeout is taken because Utah State had too many men on the field and couldn't get off.
So the Aggies stopped the clock for a moment. 6:38 in the first half. It's 10-7 Fresno State. And we'll see some drops today in this inclement cold weather. Time for another promo, guys. Why not? Another time out of the ballgame for real-life drama you won't see anywhere else. Watch 1 full hour of Cops tonight at 8, followed by an hour of laughs on totally hidden video. And the best of the worst on your station for 20 years, KMPH, Fox 26. I'm going to take another look at that ball that was ruled no good to Kelvin Means. What do you think at home? That's a good call. That camera shows it.
Angle.
Well, the key thing for me was that Kelvin did not get up and argue, and when a player doesn't get up and argue, he knows the official has gotten it right.
10-7. Bulldogs lead in this first half. Now the Bulldogs have been unstoppable at home. They've won on the road, but they've had some difficulty, winning by 4 at Washington State and Oregon State, and by 14 at New Mexico State. But that offense, and there's Ron Rivers again, rolling up more yardage. A first down for Rivers, carrying it out across the 45-yard line. This guy's like a little bowling ball.
Never seen anybody like it. Just runs through tackles. People come and hit him in his thighs and bounce off. It doesn't even lose stride when he's doing it.
Dogs basically taking what Utah State's giving them. They're throwing a lot on first down, but playing soft, looking past second down. The Dogs come right back. Rivers bounces off 2 tackles. Outstanding blocking at the point of attack.
Bulldogs are great because they have balance offensively. Can run and throw. In the flat, this is Rivers again. 50, 45. He's to the 41-yard line, and another Fresno State first down.
Key block once again by Ron Collins, but again, too much interference. Rivers ran right past it. If he slowed up a little bit, it looked like maybe Joe Ferguson, 68, was outside and had a chance to throw a block for him. Also good to see Russ Hartman back in. He was out for a couple of games because of a concussion.
10 of 17 the numbers now for Dilfer. Sweep left with Lorenzo Neal, and he's able to turn the corner before he's bumped out of bounds by Dale Lyles. And now we may have a necessary roughness penalty against Damon Smith, the free safety, number 5.
We talk all the time about Lorenzo Neal's ability to keep his balance going up the sideline. You'll see here, doesn't go out of bounds. Fights through the Aggie defenders, and Damon Smith comes up to give him a little pop, and he not only got the penalty, but he got popped.
That's also good for Lorenzo Neal not to retaliate. Let them get the penalty. You can retaliate by taking the 15 yards and then hit Damon Smith when you have the football next time.
He has run about 10 yards for the first down. Then they mark off after that.
This will be half the distance to the goal. They will take it to the 14-yard line from the 28 where the foul occurred.
Puts the ball, or I guess the Aggies puts the ball on the 16-yard line, first and 10.
Make that the 60.
So it's first down at the 16-yard line for Fresno State. Back in the familiar red zone. And Dave, what are the numbers today so far in the red zone? What, 2 of 3?
2 out of 3.
Still not too bad. Dilfer on the rollout. He'll keep it, and he'll run into a wall. Hello. There were 4 blue shirts there, and the charge led by Willie Jackson, number 55, and he was backed up by 49, Dale Lyles.
Said before, the coaching staff would like Trent to pitch the ball on the option if he has the opportunity. Unless it's wide open for him to run, you'll see it strung out here by the Aggie defense. Trent should pitch the ball, get it out to the backs who can protect themselves a lot easier than he can. He's taking a lot of abuse here in the first half.
No gain on that one. It's second down and 10. Rivers and Neal remain in as the running backs behind Dilfer. Nice catch by Rivers, but he had to go to the ground, so the play is dead immediately.
Aggies brought Rob Vanderpool that time. He shook a block off, got into the backfield, they're interrupting the timing of the Fresno State passing game a little bit. They had a safety blitz, sometimes delayed blitz by linebackers.
Kevin, are you surprised how many times Trent Dilfer has put it up in this first half? Nearly 20 throws.
Not at all. They have confidence. They want Trent to feel like there hasn't been a changing of the guard, even though that they lost Mark Barsotti, the great leader. They want the Trent Dilfer to exude, come out and do the same things that Mark was able to do.
Third and long. And the reverse. No room for Malcolm Seabrook.
Not a good call, but again, the Utah State Aggies stay home. Greg Davis has been home all day long. Looked like, and Davis, if he isn't there, Sebring goes all the way. So it's just a matter of not being able to fool the Utah State team. They're staying in their own zones.
And Derek Mahoney's on to try to give the Bulldogs an additional 3 points. Now Brian Rowe will set it down at the 26, near hash mark, 36-yard attempt. And it is good. So Derek Mahoney is 2 for 2 today. He had one earlier of 27 yards. 4:11 first half. The Bulldogs build their lead to 6. They lead now 13-7.
That's a great job by Derek Mahoney.
One of the things that might be a little bit of a concern, Randy, if you look at the raw statistics, Utah State has been outscored by 75 points this year in the first half, but in the second half only by 11. One of the reasons maybe, though, that Utah State against Nebraska and Oklahoma hopelessly out of the ball game, so they were running against second units sometimes in the second half. But Fresno State has moved the ball at will today, but they only lead by 6. That can be a concern. One turnover, one big play, all of a sudden Utah State has the lead.
Also, what has worked against the Aggies, they haven't played very many home games. This is only their 3rd home game of the year. They lost to San Jose State, and they defeated Cal State Fullerton. All those heavyweight teams, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and BYU, are away from this facility. It's never easy to win on the road, especially when you're playing top 20 caliber squads. So it's 13-7. And Mahoney, who's had a perfect day, PAT and 2 3-pointers, will kick off.
Tough situation to be a kicker. You're sitting on the field, not playing, not able to keep yourself real warm. It's 20-something degrees. Toes are got to be freezing inside that little shoe.
You know, they haven't turned the heater up here on at all. Got to get them to put the heater on.
It's on. It is cold.
It isn't working if it's on. I don't feel it. Mahoney kicking off for Fresno State. Foreman from his 9-yard line. And Floyd has room. He gets by Mahoney, and it's a foot race. And he's bumped out by Burton at the 22-yard line.
Well, Derek Mahoney has said his goal at Fresno State is to never have a kickoff run back against him. He missed the tackle, but he probably slowed Foreman down just enough so that he could be finally pushed out of bounds. But Floyd Foreman looked like the Dogs had good gap control on the kickoff, but a couple of missed tackles, and it's off to the races. Mahoney makes him go outside.
It's a pretty big punch there by Foreman. Talked about George being related to George Foreman. Big play there.
James Burton caught up.
James has a lot of speed, great athletic ability.
69-yard return by Foreman. Great field position for the Aggies trying to take the lead. Sean Hampton, the only running back, and he has it. And Hampton down to the 16-yard line, knocked down by Porter. Brian Porter, there's a cornerback that the Fresno State Bulldogs are very high on. But you don't want your cornerbacks making the hits coming out of the secondary. You want your front 7 to do that.
Well, let's see if the Dogs can stiffen here. If Utah State scores a touchdown, it's going to really throw that time of possession statistic out of kilter. Fresno State probably have it for about 25 minutes in the first half to 5 and be down by a point.
2nd down and 4 at the 16. 13-7 Bulldogs lead late first half. For Moore, knocked away nicely. It was Porter along with Emory Braxton as they double-teamed Rod Moore, who could not get free.
Real good defense. Both receivers for the Aggies were out to the right side trying to pick off at one another. You'll see them here coming down. Emory Braxton knocks the ball away. Brian Porter gets a little hit in there. Great play.
Talked to Cliff Heisel, the defensive coordinator this week. He says they will be doing some doubling of Moore and Tracy Jenkins. They don't go to the tight end. In fact, the tight end hasn't played an awful lot, although Kevin Rice is in there now.
One touchdown for the Aggies today was a throw from Lopez to Moore. Roger Grant can't get by Jeff Thiessen, and the Aggies will be looking at 4th down.
A decision time for Chuck Sheldon. Going to be 4th and 2.
He's bringing on his specialist, Doug Beach. Of course, the quarterback, Lopez, wants him to go for it. But the 3 points, very big at this stage, with Fresno State only leading by 6. So Beach is on the field. This will be a 31-yard attempt. And he is directly in front of the uprights. And he missed it wide to the right side. So that will antagonize this crowd a little bit more. I want to remind everyone to watch Star Trek The Next Generation weeknights at 6 for your chance to win the Alien of the Day contest. I wonder if Kevin Sweeney would win that. Followed by 1 full hour of barroom comedy on the Cheers Happy Hour weeknights at 7 on your station for 20 years. I figure if we laugh, maybe we'll warm up a little bit. Your station for 20 years, KMPH Fox 26. I got you to chuckle. And Dilfer and the Bulldogs feel better now if they hold. The throw downfield to Means is too long.
Well, Trent had to throw it in between defenders, got too much loft of the ball. Getting back to Doug Beach, all Big West kicker a year ago, 14 out of 17. He's only 3 for 7 this year. So the trials and tribulations of the place kicker, sometimes hot one year, not so hot the next.
Chuck Sheldon was not happy with that. He threw his hat down on the ground and kicked it almost as well as Beach kicked that field goal.
missed the cap.
Went flying. The trainer caught it about 15 yards downfield.
Does he have any eligibility left? Maybe he'll kick. Sweep. And no running room for Anthony Daigle. That ball came out late, but as you can see, Lorenzo Neal's right there. But the Bulldogs will be looking at 3rd down and long. And they've seen this situation a lot, Dave. A lot of 3rd and long situations today.
Well, it's a good thing Lorenzo Neal is there because they did not blow this ball down. The officials had a very slow whistle on this. Let's see, is it coming out? I don't see the ball. Now it's coming out. And is that Daigle down?
Anthony's down.
Well, the Bulldogs are concerned with Anthony Daigle. On this cold day, they go down. That surface doesn't give it all. And we've seen numerous players helped off. It appears that Anthony's going to be okay, though. It's tough. There's no give in that natural turf today. 2 minutes, 4 seconds left, and the clock begins to run here in the first half. 13-7, Fresno State leading. It is 3rd and 7 from the 23. In the flat to Rivers. Makes 1 miss. Makes 2 miss. Has a first down in the grasp of Ron Edwards, but there is a flag down. And it's holding against the Bulldogs. So that'll wipe out a nice effort by that little running back, Ron Rivers.
Not only that, but in college football, they now penalize from the spot of the foul. This was 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. This is going to be about a 15-yard penalty than normally the 10-yard holding call.
Bulldogs have executed very well this year offensively, but they have made some mistakes today. Some pressure on their freshman quarterback, Dilfer. He was hit, turned it over on a fumble. Now a critical holding call after the first down completion to Ron Rivers. So it'll be 3rd down and very long with the ball backed up to their 8-yard line.
Kevin, it's going to be 3rd and at least 20. You think Coach Sweeney will risk putting it up here, or maybe a sweep, trying to pick up as much as you can before you kick it?
Well, the big thing here is maybe field position. The odds of you making the first down 3rd and 22 are not good. You want to move the ball, try to gain 10 of that. It's all based down on field position.
Well, they'll run from the eye with twin receivers to the left side for Trent Dilfer. And they will not risk the pass. They give it to Neal, who cuts to the outside. And Lorenzo out to the 26-yard line. He's short of the first down, but that will take him out of the poor field position and give Brad Siegel an opportunity to boot it on the other side of the 50-yard line.
Well, I thought everything great on that play except for Lorenzo going out of bounds. Once he was short of the first down, if he'd stayed in bounds, Utah State's blown a couple of timeouts with substitutions. They don't have too much time, only 1:13 to go in the half, but this gives them some extra time now going out of bounds.
Lloyd Foreman standing back at his 30-yard line. I believe this is Brad Siegel's first punt of the game. A low spiral. This one's returnable for Foreman at the 30. There's a fumble. Fresno State football.
Good thing Lorenzo went out of bounds. How to stop that clock. They've already given, the officials have already awarded the ball to Fresno State. All this scuffling afterwards.
Stacy Wilcox, big play for the Bulldogs. Foreman was back here trying to get the fans to start yelling for him. I don't think you're going to be yelling for him too much now. Fumbled the ball. Gives Fresno State the football late in the first half. Big mistake.
They put their head right on the ball. I was trying to see who it was. It was Alan Shoddy or not. Somebody stuck their head right on the football.
There's Chuck Shelton. It's been a very disappointing season for the Aggies. The reverse to Thompson. He wants to throw it. Marty, what are you doing with it? He's throwing it up for grabs. And it's incomplete.
Well, again, I'm impressed with Utah State's ability to stay home. Fresno State's pulling a lot of plays out of the trick book. Marty Thompson on the end-around pass. He threw a long one for a big gainer last year. But again, Utah State not fooled. They're
playing disciplined football.
Yeah, they're very schooled on defense.
And it's mistakes like that that makes it difficult to win football games. Fumbling on punts, not catching the ball on third down.
Really, that's a ball that the free safety Damon Smith should have intercepted.
Come on, line.
Second down and 10. 52 seconds left in the half. Dilfer going long again for Ross. It's up for grabs and incomplete. And Ron Edwards with fine secondary coverage.
Now the Dogs certainly stretching the defense here. Third down and 10. See the snow in the end zone, but once again, Utah State with a chance for interception. Let's see if the Dogs may go to a medium pass here to try to get up in field goal position.
Well, they cleaned the snow off with a mini bulldozer.
Maybe that's why we got so many ruts in the ground.
Exactly.
Third and 10 for Dilfer. Throws that one behind Marty Thompson. And that time, Dilfer rushed that pass.
Well, the Aggies gambled there and came with the blitz, and Ron Rivers was sitting out here on the sideline all by himself. Trent's getting a little bit of havoc back there in the pocket. Just a little mix-up between he and Marty on where he was supposed to be.
Siegel the punt. 13-7 Bulldogs, but a lost opportunity. Took over inside the 40-yard line after the Foreman fumble.
Dig him!
That one will find the end zone of Utah State. They'll have the ball at their 20-yard line with 32 seconds left. Tomorrow night at 6, the crew of the Enterprise faces an addiction to an electronic mind game on Star Trek: The Next Generation. We're your station for 20 years. KMPH, Fox 26. So from the 20-yard line, final 32 seconds of play in the opening half. Utah State down by 6 to the Bulldogs. And Roger Grant out near the 25-yard line. And it appears that the Aggies are content to go into the locker room within striking distance with the 23rd ranked Bulldogs trailing by only 6 points.
Well, they have to feel real fortunate that they dodged the bullet. The Bulldogs didn't get any points out of that last series when they were able to get the ball on the 40-yard line.
Fans probably won't like Chuck Sheldon sitting on it, but the Aggies get the ball first in the second half, so they'll boo now, but Sheldon probably makes a good move here. Doesn't want to take a risk.
Boo now and cheer later if the Aggies can rally. We're at intermission with Fresno State leading Utah State as the Bulldogs try to win their 8th consecutive win of the 1991 season. We're going to chat with head coach Kevin Sweeney. Jim Sweeney. I almost call him Kevin. It's cold up here. Jim Sweeney's ready, and Coach, a hard-fought first half.
Yeah, great game. The Aggies are playing great. They're really well prepared, and they've stiffened when we've been down in there a couple times and forced us to kick field goals. They've done a great job. I imagine Chuck is real proud of them. I know I'm proud of our guys. They're playing great. This is not a usual football game up here. You know, it's a beautiful day. The weather is no factor, but it's just, you know, a lot of emotion on the Utah State football team and coaching staff, and I'm sure everybody else involved with Chuck leaving like he is. But we're going to have to suck it up and play hard in the fourth quarter.
Well, Coach, I know your team's played well in the second half all season long. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's 13-7 at the break for the Bulldogs, and we'll have more right after this.
Well, what we should do with that next time is take that in a separate one in case we have a timeout prior to that, because he's passed already. You might bank that. Yeah, I know. Bank it maybe for next week. Thanks.
winless record at FSU, 14th season. Wants to finish up the Big West with another conference title. They've won 4 California Raisin Bowls under his guidance. I'd like to go out with a 5th as they go into the WAC conference next year. Also would like to go unbeaten this year. Fresno State is off to its best start since winning its first 10 games in 1989. Of course, once again on a collision course with San Jose State November 23rd, and I know you better pick up your tickets for that one quickly at Bulldog Stadium. That appears to be a championship game. No surprise. By the way, San Jose State plays UNLV tonight, and their quarterback Matt Beach does not appear to be ready to go in that one.
Yeah, Beach is questionable for that. Also, I noticed last week Pacific, which lost to Long Beach State, Pacific still racked up 603 yards in total offense. That's the Dogs' opponent next week. Again, we will be televising that game right here on Fox 26. Kickoff is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I do believe.
Right on the button, 2 o'clock it is. And of course, they have the gifted quarterback Troy Kopp, and that figures to be some kind of offensive show in Stockton. Dilfer and Kopp will go at it next week, but the Bulldogs have homework here. They're only ahead by 6, 13-7. Utah State will get the football first as Derek Mahoney kicks off for Fresno State. Sean Hampton at the 3. And Hampton out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. He was hit by Brad Bell. Utah State come back on with Ron Lopez, who threw that touchdown to Rod Moore in the first half.
Lopez, we didn't mention, he's out of Benjamin Franklin High School in Los Angeles. He was the Los Angeles City Player of the Year, and his main competition that year was a guy named Darian Hagan, All-American quarterback at the University of Colorado.
Had a 94-yard touchdown pass to Moore last year, so he's capable, and he hands it off to Grant. Roger tries to go outside, 25. Gets away from Thiessen and turns the corner, and he has a first down. When he wiggled away from Jeff Thiessen, that gave Roger Grant an extra 10 yards.
Well, each team has their own version of a counter tray or counter trap. This is the counter trap run by Utah State. Fake left, go right, pull the offside guard and tackle. And Grant does a lot of this in his own. A missed tackle by Marquez Pope. You don't see that very often. Also by Jeff Thiessen. And finally, Steve Lee gets him out of bounds.
8 carries, 72 yards for Roger Grant. At the 41-yard line, Utah State with a first down. And again, it's Roger Grant running off left tackle for a few.
Almost every time that Utah State has had a tight end in a football game, they've ran the football. Look for a little play action pass one of these times when they have the tight end.
Well, they haven't gone to their tight end. The tight end is really not part of their offense. They love those wideouts. Really would be a surprise element.
Come on, Steve.
Second down and 8. Ball sitting at the 43-yard line of the Aggies. It's 13-7 Bulldogs. Another tight one away from Bulldog Stadium for the Fresno State squad, which is ranked 23rd in the country. Lopez, and that's just great coverage in the secondary, and Rod Moore had nowhere to go. A blanket from Emory Braxton. And it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Rod Moore, we mentioned in the first half, several of the Aggies have famous cousins. Rod Moore related to the great Nate Thurman, former center for the Golden State Warriors. But that time, Emory Braxton was blanketing him. Braxton has been beaten once by Rod Moore today, but that's only once so far.
The Warriors made a pretty big trade last night, huh? Mitch Richmond going to Sacramento to the Kings for Billy Owens, the great young talent from Syracuse, and Lopez never had a chance on the blitz. Braxton out of the secondary nails him for the sack, and the defense holds.
Just a great defensive execution. Emory Braxton coming in on the backside of Ronnie Lopez with the corner cat. Great disguise of the defense.
Pete Jenkins also on a blitz. Jenkins a little shaken up. Looked like he took a shot in the midriff.
Malcolm Sebron back at the 25, set to return the punt of Rusty Carlson. Sebron backs up to the 18.
Couldn't get to the picket fence that time. He had the wall of blockers set up. A good penetration by a couple of the Utah State cover guys, and Sebron couldn't get there.
Malcolm returns at 6 yards to the 24. The Bulldogs will come back to go on offense for the first time in the second half when we return right after this.
River get a
That's a good idea. Can you find out Jermaine Younger what his status is? They're carrying the linebacker off.
check with Craig Hillsop. He'll probably know something. Hislop. Because he is.
Feel it. Alter sway. Thought Louie'd like it if we stuck it up on TV.
Compression.
Slight compression fracture in his neck.
I don't know what that means. So.
Mid-back. Okay.
He has some compression damage in his mid-back.
I don't know.
Howard's spewing out all these terms.
What does it mean?
Hey, his back's a little sore.
Compression fracture is bones going like that.
Bulldogs, first look at the offensive side. They lead by 13-7 in Logan, Utah. They send Kelvin Means wide to the left side. Ron Rivers busts it across the 30-yard line.
You can hear that plastic popping up here, can't you, Kevin?
A lot of cold plastic popping.
Yeah, Ron Rivers always gets you that extra yards, doesn't he?
Both teams opened up the first half running that counter train play that you were talking about, Dave.
Now, this play has been the play ever since the Washington Redskins, I guess, really perfected it in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Rivers, again, absorbs the first blow and then gains additional yardage. Matt Martinez, a linebacker, took that hit.
Came in averaging nearly 8 yards a rush. Today, over 5 yards per carry. And Lorenzo Neal breaks a tackle out to the 35-yard line.
Lorenzo's got great balance and great strength. I don't know if that days on the wrestling match gave him that ability. Just keeps on fighting. Got a great low center of gravity.
Well, I would bet
reaches for the first down.
I would bet the Dogs are the only team in the nation that have two running backs who were former wrestlers, and it really helps in that forward lean. They take that first blow and then still have great balance.
2.5 minutes expired in the third quarter, and Rivers has running room. 45, 50, 45, rolls down to the 42-yard line. This is some kind of running back. Former top prep player in California a couple years ago at San Gorgonio High School. Watch this. He runs over a few and runs around others.
Lorenzo Neal, Keelan Jackson, big blocks. You saw Lorenzo's block at the point of attack, and boom, Ron Rivers had a lot of room, and then he did some on his own at the end.
Excuse me. 24 yards on the rush for Ron Rivers. That'll enhance his total. Remember, he has 300-yard efforts this year. Bulldogs to the 41 of Utah State. Sweep left with Lorenzo Neal. He breaks a tackle. And Ron Edwards is beside himself. The quarterback came up to greet Lorenzo Neal when he came up with a handful of empty.
It's almost like they challenge each other so you can have the most broken tackles in a game. Get back to that all. Yeah, nice run, Ronnie. Well, I'm going to get the ball this time, Lorenzo.
And Dave, you would think the running game, which is starting to operate well, as Neal has 74 yards and a touchdown, should open up the aerial attack.
It does indeed. Lorenzo Neal going over 1,000 yards for the career. He only needed 15 yards coming in, so Lorenzo cracks the 1,000-year career mark, and he's heading toward a 100-yard day.
Rivers, against the grain, has a first down to the 30-yard line, and a little discussion with Ron Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards is going to start getting frustrated.
Yeah,
he was run over by Lorenzo Neal, and then Ronnie Rivers gives him a stiff arm and takes him an additional 5 yards, and Edwards is a tough guy. He's not backing off.
You'll see it here. Ronnie just makes cut back to the left side. Now when Edwards comes up to tackle him, misses him, now watch him take a little swing.
Yeah, could have thrown a flag for a blow to the head right there. Didn't get one, though.
Well, Ron Rivers 7 for 59 in the carries department. Dilfer's throwing, and he's too tall for Marty Thompson.
Well, they must have thought something in the film, watching Utah State during the week, that would have been able to be a good play. That's the third time they've ran it and third time that it's been unsuccessful.
Best play the Dogs have had in their passing arsenal today has been the fake draw quick screen outside to Ron Rivers with Ron Collins out leading the play. We will see that somewhere in the second half. It usually works well early in the sequence.
Dilfer hitting exactly 50% of his passes, 11 of 22 at 134 yards. He has not been intercepted, nor has he thrown a touchdown. In the flat, this is Rivers. Can he break more tackles? No, he can only go to the 30-yard line. 278 Dogs. Remember the number. Still tickets available for the final games of the season at home. There's 2 games, Cal State Fullerton and San Jose State. And of course, the Titans are struggling, and the Bulldogs figure to have a nice outing against them, but everyone knows how good the Spartans are. 278 Dogs. 3rd down and 10 for Trent Dilfer from the 30-yard line. Over the middle, the tight end, Marty Thompson. And he's close to the first down stick.
I think that's a poor spot. Appeared that Marty had made more yardage than that. Just a great thing by a freshman to be able to read the hot blitz. Here you'll see him take 3-step drop, dump the ball off because nobody's able to block the blitzing linebacker. Marty fights for that extra yardage. You see there, he was almost up to the 20.
And with the Bulldogs leading by 6, they will not try the field goal. It's 4th and inches. They will go for it with the full house backfield. Anthony Daigle's in now.
Daigle will carry.
He has to give room. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another one for the first down.
On his
so
own.
Daigle's effort able to get the first down.
We had to question a little bit what he was doing, but, you know, perseverance and kept on going on. Anthony Daigle sweeping out to the left side. Thought he got a little bit too deep in the backfield. Just does everything personal effort.
He didn't have
Damon Smith was unable to tackle him.
Yeah, he didn't have the first down when Damon Smith hit him, and he got away from Matt Martinez as well. So a great second effort by the Bulldog backs today. Have been able to sustain some drives.
He's getting a big hug from Jim Sweeney right now. Proud of him.
16-yard line. Bulldogs trying to take it in. But the left side of the offensive line pulled up, and it was Marty Thompson.
You know, the one thing that they've done today just a few times, but the penalties have killed them on. You cannot, when you get down this far into the territory, you can't jump off sides. We saw before in the first half, after we had picked up, Fresno State picked up the first down, they had the holding call to negate that play. Great football teams don't make the penalties that lose football games for you.
Marty, that offense, guys, has really done a wonderful job of resting the defense and just controlling the ball, not giving Utah State very many opportunities.
Yeah, Marty Thompson actually saw a Utah State player move, but the defense can move across the line as long as they don't make contact, and Marty didn't take his cue from the snap count.
It is 1st and 15 with the ball spotted at the 21-yard line. Dilfer in trouble. And he's rolled down.
I think that was a missed handoff.
Trent Dilfer, when he rolled out of the pocket, was chased down by the outside linebacker, Craig Davis.
Looks like he missed the handoff. Didn't have a real good handle of the ball because there weren't any receivers running routes for him downfield. Trent thus was unable to throw the ball away, getting negative yardage. Not something you want to do. One thing you want to do as a quarterback and as an offense, as soon as you get down to the 20, 25-yard line, you don't want negative yardage to push yourself out of field goal range.
Over the middle, Marty Thompson available. And Marty runs hard to the 13-yard line.
What a block downfield by Ronnie Rivers. Didn't help Thompson any, but he put a defensive back right on the seat of his pants.
You're protecting yourself. Marty Thompson's been a big part of the Bulldog offense today. Trent hangs there tough in the pocket, throws the ball to Marty Cross, and Kelvin Means had the opportunity almost to spring a big block for him. It just was too far downfield.
That's what you want to do when you have a long yardage situation. Get some of it back on 2nd down and not try to pick it up on 3rd down. Thompson with 4 catches and 37 yards. It is 3rd and 8. Dilfer's in trouble. And he unloads it incomplete.
Ooh, they get a break.
That's a big play.
Well, Lorenzo Neal was over there.
He was there. And
I think that's a good call.
Yeah, this is a learning situation. Now Trent's going to come to the sideline. He's going to be told, look, throw the ball away. If you're in trouble, don't try to do too much. We don't want to take that sack, bring us back beyond the 30-yard line.
Well, he did throw it away, guys, and he got away with it. He's used that 6'5" frame, and he noticed that Neal was in the flat.
If he doesn't get this call, the Dogs are trying a minimum 45-yard field goals. It is. They're going for a 32-yard. You can see he's on his way down, and there is a receiver just out to the right of Needleman, number 99.
No in the graft call in college football, though. So when a defender gets to you, you still can try to get away or throw the ball away, as Dilfer did on that occasion.
Got a call here. I don't know what it is.
False start against the Bulldogs.
It's going to make it a 37-yard attempt now for Derek Mahoney.
He's 2 for 2. He likes the altitude, about 4,500 here at Logan, Utah. Near hash mark.
Derek has an opportunity to be a big impact player in this football game if he makes this field goal.
Yeah, they're up by 9. One score can't catch him at this point.
It's a 13-7 football game, and Marty Thompson had a couple big catches on this drive. Let's see if Derek Mahoney can split the uprights. He does from 37 yards, but there's another flag.
This could be a personal foul on Utah State, and if that's the case, Fresno State, it'd be a 15-yard penalty.
Ron Edwards.
First down.
It's our pal Ron Edwards that took the swing on the tackle on Ron Rivers.
The old situation, though, do you want to take points off the board?
There you see.
Boom,
That's
right there.
Hey, that's 2 swings. He might be even related to George Foreman.
And they ejected him out of the
deserves
game.
it.
But the question is, does Jim Sweeney take 3 off the board or take the first down? Kelvin Means going to go out and talk to the officials. It was 4th and 12.
So it'll be a
Let's see.
Well, it's an automatic first down because of personal foul.
It would be half the distance, but it would be an automatic first down. Are they going to decline it?
On the kickoff?
Field goal good. They're going to take it on the kickoff.
So they take the 3, and Fresno State builds the lead to 16-7.
I don't have any problem. I don't have any problems with that call at all.
So a 16-7 lead, and Ron Edwards has been ejected after the personal foul. And Edwards is a very talented man in Chuck Shelton's secondary. He's the guy that in his career has intercepted Ty Detmer 3 times. We'll be back to Logan, Utah. The Bulldogs will be kicking off, and now they lead by 9. He was I think he made you get the kickoff. Yeah, they should move.
See who's getting back.
Capidola sorority would like to welcome all alumni at the open house.
Guys were ranked 105.
The open house today. We held in their order today at the Capidola House directly after the game. So there's the Capidola sorority welcoming all of the alumni here today to an open house held in their honor after the game.
Derek Mahoney's 3rd field goal of the game. A 37-yard field goal here in the 3rd quarter has given the Bulldogs a 16-7 lead, 8:08 left. And after the personal foul on Edwards, 15 yards on that kickoff. So Fresno State and Mahoney will be kicking from the 50-yard line. 7 of 8 out of the year for Derek Mahoney in the field goal department. And he'll easily put this one through the end zone. Utah State will start from its 20. I know you guys in unison agreed with the call to keep the 3 points.
I definitely feel you put 3 up, it gives you a 9-point lead. It means that 1 score and even a 2-point conversion cannot catch you. So I think at this point,
I think if it was to be a 6-point lead and could have put them over that 1 touchdown advantage. Might have thought about doing it.
I'll make it a threesome. I agree with the call. You have not been moving the ball all that well inside the 20 today. Take the 3, have the 9-point lead. Hope your defense can stop them. Sean Hampton running hard up the middle. Utah State has very good running backs, but with the injuries, and they've lost a couple of their offensive linemen, they've struggled all year long on the ground. They've had a better day today than they've had most of the year. And Roger Grant has a shot at another 100-yard afternoon. He had one against Long Beach State He's had a number of those in his career. He's had some 200-yard efforts. In fact, he had 252 yards in one game. 7:35 left, third quarter. 16-7 Bulldogs. Second down and 6 for Ron Lopez. And he gets clobbered by Nick Surface as he tried to throw the football. And that's a very lucky quarterback that did not find a Bulldog defender.
And Lopez has a nice arm, but he's got a slow release, and the Dogs have taken advantage of that. Surface gets right in his face. Greg Watts was the intended receiver.
Well, Darren Boyer gave Greg Watts, will see coming here. Darren searches him out right there as soon as the ball's tipped. Took 2 of them down.
Nick Surface, a highly regarded junior college transfer. With the delivery sack, it's 3rd down and 6 now for Ron Lopez. Ball at the 24-yard line. Utah State needs to convert on 3rd down, or the Bulldogs will get it back. Lopez over the middle for Moore. He takes a tremendous hit, but he holds on. Emory Braxton hit him head on, but that's a 1st down for Moore. That's a great grab. Tremendous concentration.
Well, not all receivers will have the opportunity to come across the middle and hold on to this ball. Moore, just a great, we've already talked about his abilities. This takes a lot of courage across the middle. Hold on to that football.
Give credit to Stacy Wilcott, who came flying in, helping Braxton out. Lowered the boom on him, but it did not let Moore release the football. Now this will cost Utah State 5 yards.
Brian Funk, left tackle, jumped on that play, so it'll be 1st and 15. Whenever the Dogs have had Utah State in a sure passing situation, they have been blitzing. You'll see Funk right here coming off your left tackle. 1st and 15, they may not blitz on 1st down, but they would on 2nd and 15.
Come on, hold up, Rosie. Hold up, come on, Henry. Get in there, Henry. Get in there, space.
Utah State 1-6 and 1-2 in the conference. Trying to move the ball on the ground today, and the Bulldogs converge. Stacy Wilcott's been in on a lot of tackles, and he's run into Roger Grant quite a bit today.
They got a tight end in the ball game. They're going to run the football over their strong side. Roger Grant, strong little running back.
Darren Boyer, Pete Jenkins right in there. Jenkins and Boyer started together for a time in 1989. Both of them missed last season, and now both of them are inside linebackers again.
2nd down and 10, so Grant got the yardage back, lost on the penalty for Jenkins. And that one was nearly intercepted by Tony Brown. He had the inside position on Jenkins.
One of the great things when you're a defensive back and the pass is coming to the sideline, your bench is, everybody on the bench is yelling ball, 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 so you know the ball is up in the air. But it's on the other side of the field. Trust me, the Utah State players aren't going to be yelling that. So right now, Braxton knows the ball's up there, and so does Tony Brown, and they're able to break up the pass.
And it's 3rd down and 10, and another big try for Utah State. Just converted on 3rd and 6. They need a larger chunk here.
See if the blitz comes.
You can't go, Henry.
3 receivers to the left side for the Aggies. Incomplete. One of those defensive linemen nearly intercepted it. Was it Pete Jenkins? Oh, he's a big linebacker at 6'5". Let's see if number 58 was the young man that nearly intercepted.
Hey, man, hey!
Yes, it was.
And one of the Utah State linemen wanted to get in a little bit of the action.
Pull the trigger! Pull the trigger!
Rusty Carlson on to punt.
Go get it!
Don't hit him. There's a flag.
Down inside the 10-yard line, but they ran into Rusty Carlson.
Is it going to be 5 or 15?
It should not be 15.
5 will not give them a 1st down. They called it roughing, though. It's going to be 15 and an automatic 1st down.
That did not look like roughing the kicker to me. Trying to hold up.
Well, he was in the air, and 96 got him.
Those kickers absorb those hits so well all the time, don't they?
Well, they also, most of them are in theater school. They are auditioning for Oscars.
Lance Thomas is the Fresno State football player that ran into the kicker, and I disagree with this call. There was nothing rough about that call at all. He ran into the kicker. That should have been a 5-yard penalty.
And if it's 5, it's not an automatic first down, but automatic first down on any personal foul. So Utah State gets a break.
Guess you have to respect the fact that they're in a pretty vicarious position, having their leg up in the air after they followed through. Aren't really able to protect themselves in their body.
Then they shouldn't have the rule. It should be just 15 yards anytime you hit the kicker. Again, a short gain. Fresno State defensively seems to be reacting a little bit better to the football now. They're able to stop Tigert. He could not find a hole, number 44.
I think what Kevin maybe was referring to, Randy, was the fact that he was still off the ground. That a lot of time is the indication. If the kicker's feet are both off the ground while he's in that vulnerable position, then they'll usually call the 15.
Yeah, but Thomas was trying to hold up. He wasn't trying to go after the kicker in any way, shape, or form. So if you're going to have 2 rules like that, a 5 or a 15, enforce them.
Here's that bootleg we were talking about.
Hampton is open, coming out of the backfield down to the 41-yard line.
Kind of lull you to sleep every time they have a tight end.